I know you said you had to focus a lot on your thoughts, but
My mental health going into prison was a mess. I was a mess. It was seriously.
how do you?
I didn't know until after I got out of prison, and I started going to therapy,
Uh-huh.
that pretty much I was born with trauma. I have so much trauma that was pent up in me. That's why I went through life the way I did, because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't even know I was traumatized even to begin with. So we have to, as a culture, we have to figure out how to deal with the trauma and the pain that comes from generations.
Right.
Way back from when they brought us over here, we've been traumatized. So once I think we start to deal with that, our our mental health will get better.
And I think going back to what you said, I think like you said, you had a lot of trauma that you didn't know, and I think that's what happens with a lot of our black brothers and sisters, that they too grow up with this trauma, how whatever happened with their growing up, and then that leads them into prison.
Because I would say that we're used to living unhealthy mentally and living in toxic relationships from day one, that we think that is normal. So when you get in a space where you realize that wasn't normal, you have to unlearn all the things that you were taught to deal with, and realize you deserve to be happy every day. You deserve not to be talked to a certain way, treated a certain way, looked upon a certain way. You deserve nothing but the best. And that's what we weren't told, and I don't believe that in our communities is still not being told right now, because it's a lot of pain and damage going on, and we fight against each other.
Yes, we do. I hate that. Well, that's another topic.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, as being a black man, do you feel that black men recognize that they have mental health issues? And the reason I ask that is because I don't feel like a lot of black men, I feel like they don't recognize that, and a lot of the times they just try to, like I always say, they always just try to sweep things under the rug, and they don't take the time to deal with things and cope with it, and I feel like that could be also another reason that leads people, and to wind up in jail. So what is your take on that?
That's something that I'm dealing with now as I move forward, because being here, I'm planning myself from the environment that I was raised from all my life. You know what I'm saying? So just being here and going through the pandemic and being away from everything, she have to tell me a lot of times, it's all right to be happy, because you so used to things being a certain way and being messed up, you expecting it to be wrong every time, right? You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize I got PTSD because it's how we was raised. And when you come outside and you go through certain stuff, mentally you have to think different just to even accept what's going on.
Right.
And be able to move forward knowing that this is how you playing and nobody that can help you in those situations.
Is that how you had to, is that how your mindset had to be while you were in prison?
Not prison, New Orleans. Prison don't got nothing on New Orleans. I'm from uptown.
Damn.
I'm from uptown.
Okay.
I was raised in the hood and the project, and you know what I'm saying, different projects. I've seen a little bit of everything. Like, you had to have a certain mind frame to even survive in them days. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it wasn't this. We talking about before Katrina,
right?
When the city was overpopulated. You know what I'm saying? So you had to be able to survive, because you can't go home. Your mama can't help you when you come outside.
Right.
Your daddy can't help you when you come outside. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? So when you see somebody die when you a kid, you know what I'm saying? It's
and again, that's all that trauma that,
like,
that we deal with, that we don't recognize. So, and I want to ask you, Taisha, now, how do you feel, though, like the prison should handle, mental health and mental illnesses within prison? Because I know there's plenty of inmates who struggle with that, and I know I would believe that the guards, like they see that, they know that people need help. So how do you think that they should try helping this issue?
Well, for those who have more severe mental problems, they shouldn't even be in prison anyway. Mm-hmm. They need to get some kind of structure in a facility with people who actually care and really can get to the core root of the person's problem. Get all the way to the beginning of the trauma so that they can get it out and be able to move forward. In prison, it's like a line, a number. You go see the site. They just want to, oh, really? And they just dope you up.
Right.
So you have to attack the problem head on. You know what I mean? And then it goes back to really letting people know that it's okay to not be angry. It's okay to release the pain. This is what I realized I had to, because I was a very angry person. And I took that time to think, why was I so upset? What was making me so mad? And when I realized that I was drinking the poison of hate and pain, hoping that these people die. It's like I'm drinking the poison hoping they die, but really they done moved on with their life, and I'm holding all of this.
Harboring all that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm holding all of this pain and hurt. Just wasn't realizing it. And you just have to release it and let it go. But it's kind of difficult to say the prison system. It's no help there.
Yeah,
you have to. You really
they can't save you.
Yeah,
you have to save yourself.
Yeah, it's people coming there to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Their job ain't to save you. They come there from 9 to 9. They coming there to make sure nobody don't hurt themselves. Everybody eat their food. Nobody don't escape. And then they trying to get back home to their kids. Mm-hmm. You know, but they not even realizing they in jail too.
Yeah.
Right.
So how, you know, like if they gave away 40 years of their life, you know what I'm saying? Like every day,
they
in jail too. So it ain't too much they could do for it because they going through the problems we going through on the cool.
Yeah, right. And now this may be a vague question, but I just want to get you guys' opinion. How does being in jail though affect one's mental health? I know a lot of times people come into jail and they don't have any mental health issues. They don't have any, PTSD. They're normal, but when they come out, it's a different situation. So how does being in jail though, just jail alone, in prison alone, messes with one?
It's traumatizing. A lot of people, some people go in there and come out never the same because, first of all, they going in there with other people who have mastered the art of being in prison. Very manipulative and aggressive. Some are violent. And so once they get wrapped up in that, the fear of not being hurt there, it changes them. It's like, and then to live in I don't even know what side, but just smaller than this, for decades. That's going to mess with your mental.
Yeah, it's another world. Like, that's a whole nother, jail is another life.
Society.
It's not this. Like, it's like how we in here. Imagine, big as y'all move around here. So big as this is y'all world now. And everything is based upon the rules inside here. Whatever going outside, cars, life, parties, ain't got nothing to do with y'all life no more. It's only what goes on in here, so it makes you adapt. I saw they got rules for dudes who got 20 or better.
No,
it's all right. Well, I seen dudes with 5, but I'm just saying, like, 20 or better, dudes with 20, they feel like if you mess with a dude,
it's okay.
It's all right because, it's understand if a dude got life and he never ever going home again, he don't move by the same rules that the people outside do no more because, so it's different. It's different rules. Like you just like you have to adapt when you go outside to the rules out there. Now you adapting to the rules that's in here, and it's not the same. A book of stamps is money. Like that's how you pay for stuff with mailing stamps. So it's different. Like you ain't trying to save up money or this. You trying to save up as many stamps as you could get because you could get whatever you want in this building with those stamps.
Right.
It's just a different
society.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like it's a whole other world.
All right. All right, so we're just gonna take a little break right now, y'all. I'm just before we go on break. I just want to say I'm enjoying this conversation so much. I'm having a great time. So I thank you guys so much for coming out. And yeah, so we'll be right back.
Who else you thought it was gonna be, huh? Life hit me up on the jack. We got a date like either we gon' pick up a pack or 38. So either way you look at the story, we gotta split it. So either we gon' wait on that money or go and get it. And a lot of niggas down at the bottom, they had some up. The only thing that stuck in my mind was gotta come up. I was out of options, money was popping, had to choose. I wasn't about to go ask my mama to buy some shoes. The flippers niggas sold for a dime, but they was worth two. Gave birth to the monster you see, me, she was hurt too. I learned to whip 1 and 2, it left for wealth. I was finally at a point in my life where I could help.
All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back from break. Now we were on break. Now, we were talking about Taisha, you got a little project.
Yes,
you've been working on. Tell us about that. What's up with that?
So I have Life After the Feds is a real reality show, and what it's about, I wanted to come out and show people the positive side and the real journey of coming out of prison and restarting your life. Because a lot of times you just see the shows where people getting locked up and put in jail. They never show the transition. And I wanted to be inspirational too, because I faced a lot of challenges, right? But they're good problems opposed to my old lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like right now, I've been dealing with the city for a year with building my restaurant. It's frustrating and all of that, but that's actually a good problem opposed to me selling drugs and hoping the feds ain't kicking down the door or somebody trying to rob me. You know what I mean? So I just really want to show that transition and what it looks like if you stay consistent and focus on your goals. Things that happen. And then even with another big thing is me being a mother. When I went to prison, I left behind 4 children. So I'm still going through the transition of being back in their life. Because you got to think, if you go on 4 or 5 years, you come back, it's other people raising the kids, and life is different. It didn't stop for them. It may have paused for me, in a sense. So I have to try to figure out how to get to know my children, who they are today.
Right.
Try to figure out how to work myself in, and that's a challenge in itself.
I bet.
That's what Life After the Feds is about. It's just real reality.
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good one. I want to ask, you said you left behind 4 kids. Now, what do you think? How does the prison system affect black families? What does it do to the black families?
It helps destroy us even further. That's a really touchy subject.
Because I feel like it's a reoccurring thing that pretty much each black family goes through. I've dealt with that within my family, and so I just want to see, like, what do you
torn apart? Like I said, I was a hands-on everyday mom. Then I go to federal prison, don't see my kids, barely can talk to them when I can on the phone. I had my children visiting me one time in prison, and it was torture.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to stay there. My kids used to write me and email me, because we were able to receive emails and talk about how they wanted to be in jail with me, because they wanted their mother so bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really torture, and then the kids learn to live without you. You know what I mean? So it's a psychological more trauma on them. So now you have a whole nother generation dealing with another set of trauma that they have to try to figure out and cope with. And that's where you get the different with rebellion and, drugs in the streets.
Right.
And because what else do they have?
Right. Go ahead.
The crazy part is when me and her building to where we at, right? Being incarcerated and formerly incarcerated gave us a lot in common, right? And it was crazy that